We missed you last week too. But we're back, bitches. It's another episode of DSTV. Let's get it! This week's Superwoman of the Week is Donna Brazile. Who's Donna Brazile? She is an American author, political activist, educator, and strategist who is affiliated with the Democratic Party and was the first Black woman to ever run a political campaign when she headed up Al Gore's run for the presidency in 2000. Now recently, she was featured on a panel put together by the New Yorker called If I'd Run This Campaign, and she said some great things on there that set her apart from the other panelists and also helped to put us, the regular people, into a great state of mind as we move forward to November 4th.
I want the best. I want the brightest. I want somebody to take me where we've never been as a country. Perhaps we've been too stuck in the past, that's why we can't go forward. Don't let no one take us back, because many of us are not going back. We're going forward. And come with us.
I love her acknowledgement that we cannot stand in the past, we have to move forward to the future. And you know, there just is a really big generation gap. We talk about it all the time with all these middle class Negroes, with folks who don't understand that there is a future that has to live with this president. When you have someone like John McCain running for president who is so old he played jacks with Jesus, you have to really wonder if they are going to have the frame of mind to think about the future. Donna Brazile is our Superwoman of the Week because she is a strong force in the Democratic Party, and along with Senator Obama, she is helping to spread the message of change and get the people rallied and united to move forward in this country. And if that ain't some super shit, I don't know what is. Got a big up, yes, yes, a big up, and yes, a let down. So this month, as we prepare for the big election on November 4th, we have got the Countdown to Change going on right here on Diva Speak TV. And our first big up as part of the Countdown to Change goes to former Secretary of Defense, Mr. Colin Powell. You wanted to know where they went. Christopher Williams, I'll be sure. But Mr. Colin Powell proves that light skin is back, beezies. Colin Powell, right under the wire, gets the big up for giving his endorsement of Senator Barack Obama. Now the reason why this is a big up is because, as we know, Colin Powell is a consummate Republican. Just deal with it. He has decided to go against the grain, and instead of just rocking with the Republican, he said, you know what? I'm gonna rock with Obama. And not just because he's a brother. We must remember that Senator Powell was opposed to the continuance of the Iraq War. And of course, John McCain wants to keep that train a-going. Come on, ride that war. And ride it, woo, woo. Something else Senator Powell said that I thought really stood out was that he feels that Barack Obama represents a generational change in this country. And that's a very strong thing to say because let's be real, Barack is what, almost 30 years younger than John McCain? There's a different America that is burgeoning right now, and we need somebody to lead that has a sensibility stronger connected to that America than one that's more connected to the America that was actually like in the Korean War. That's really old. Like, really old. And just because I am this much of a geek, I also need to make it known that, hello, McCain looks like the Borg.
The Borg are an evil race of people that travel around from planet to planet, taking people's identities and assimilating them into thinking the same. They don't want anybody with opinions, kind of like the Republicans. The Borg is in one mission, to destroy.
So all my Trekkies, you know what that means. Resistance is futile. I appreciate Colin Powell for wanting to break that trend and bring someone in who not only doesn't look like the Borg, but doesn't act like them either. I used to call him Colin Bowell because he really was kind of shitty, but he gets his name back now because he's supporting Barack. This week's letdown doesn't go to a specific person, it actually goes to a specific problem. Ignorance. Let me show you what I mean.
Here's what some have to say about presidential candidate Barack Obama.
I'm afraid if he wins, the black will take over. The black will take over.
The blacks will take over. Ah!
Question.
He seems like a sheep Or a wolf in sheep's clothing.
When you've got a Negro running for president, he must support terrorists.
Is friends with the terrorists of this country.
And I believe Palin, she's filled with the Holy Spirit. She's filled with the Holy Spirit. She's going to bring honesty and integrity to the White House. She's going to bring honesty and integrity to the White House. The White House. White House.
Obama and his wife, I'm concerned that they could be anti-white, that he might hide that.
I can't. That footage is taken from an Al Jazeera report on supporters in Ohio who had went to a Palin rally. You know, the problem with this campaign is that it's become less and less about Barack Obama and John McCain, and more about the fact that Barack is black and McCain is not. And when you see this, I don't know about you, but it's shocking and it's sad, and it's also a very big wake-up call to remind those of us in the cities that Palin and McCain seem to think are un-American, like Chicago, California. In these major cities, racism might get you in an argument, it might even get you snuffed, but it won't get your house burned down or get you lynched. When we see footage like this, we see ignorance at its complete worst, at its most concentrated. And these are people who are Americans just like you and me, who go to the polls just like you and me, who get a bill and get checks just like you and me. So it's like we can't completely just oust them from our consciousness and say they don't count, because they count. And you know what sucks about ignorance? It brings people together in a way that enlightenment just doesn't seem to do. All those folks have come together in their ignorance to hate. But Amanda, those folks are just stupid. No. The difference between stupidity and ignorance is this. Stupidity is the lack of knowledge. Ignorance is the lack of knowledge, but the thinking of actually having knowledge, and more importantly, the willingness to spread it as if it is knowledge.
And I believe Palin, she's filled with the Holy Spirit. And I believe she's going to bring honesty and integrity to the White House.
It's not a question.
So I told you that right here on Diva Speak TV, we are doing the countdown to change. And in accordance with the countdown to change, we will also be pointing out some things that are completely opposite of change. And this week, that is Mr. Joe the Plumber. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was watching the last presidential debate and they started talking about this Joe the Plumber cat, I'm like, who the rise is Joe the Plumber? What about Amanda the MC or Maite the dancer? I'm just saying. Here's the thing though. Joe's not even a plumber. Joe hasn't even paid taxes in the last 2 years, and he has two $1,000 tax liens against him. Basically, Joe shouldn't be saying shit. How you not paying taxes, but then you showing up and getting on TV talking about taxes? You see Wesley Snipes there? Hell no. You making yourself hot, B. You snitching on yourself. That's some new shit. I ain't got nothing against Joe the Plumber personally. My issue is with the Republicans using Joe the Plumber as an allegory to try and chop down Barack's tax plan. And then it turns out that this guy, Joe the Plumber, isn't even doing what Americans are being asked to do, like basics of paying taxes. You know, it's all fear tactics, it's all a bunch of back-whack bullshit, and it's pawns being used. And we have to remember to stay focused and not let people like Joe the Plumber or Blondie the Barbie come in and steer us away from the reality, which is that we're in a country that's in a serious bind, and we need to get out of it. And if someone like Joe the Plumber is getting $250,000 plumbing, then I think that he's part of the problem. Then they tack it on and get real serious, saying, you know, they want to take Joe's money and move it around. That's socialism. But when they want to take Amanda the MC's money and move it around, that's just taxes. Semantics? I think so. That's another one, folks. I am out of here. Shout to Hood Prep Clothing for my free clothes. Big ups to all of our new syndicates. Yes, check the list. I can't even name them all because we're poppin'. And make sure that you go on myspace.com Amanda Diva and get a bag for somebody for Christmas. It's approaching, or for Hanukkah, or for Kwanzaa. We've also got a great show going on. Spectrum Funk meets CMJ. We got Amanda Diva, Bliss the Ambassador, 88 Keys, Charles Hamilton, Proton, Ray 6, Just Live. It's very, very serious. So make sure you go and check that out. Copy your tickets today. Don't forget, for the illest in graphic design, there's only one place to go, and that's Artec NYC. We are out of here. Amanda Diva, Bams in 08. So old, he played Jax with Jesus. You see Wesley Snipes there?